In this video, I'm going to discuss what is the difference between external and internal audit, and believe me bro, it's not as simple as you think, and we're starting right now. So if you're a student na curious kung ano ba ang difference ng external at internal audit, or maybe isa kang professional na nagbabalak mag-transition from external to internal audit or vice versa, this is the video for you. What's up? My name is Ron from the CPA Recipe and I'm a certified public accountant. If this is your first time in this channel and if you're looking for fun, engaging, and easy to understand tutorial videos about accounting and related topics, you've come to the right place. So start now by hitting the like button, sharing this video on your timeline, and hitting the subscribe button and bell notification icon so you won't miss anything. Now, as I've said earlier in this video, I'm going to discuss the differences between external and internal audit, and this is gonna be legend, wait for it, Terry. Commonly bro, the words audit and auditor are often described as either external or internal. Now bro, ano ba ang difference between an external and internal auditor? The simplest and probably the most familiar explanation given to differentiate between the two is that an external auditor is someone from outside the company while an internal auditor is someone from inside the company. Malamang kaya nga external at internal. Pero things are not that simple. Now bro, before we discuss the differences between external and internal audit, pag-usapan muna natin kung ano ba ang similarities ng dalawang ito. Both external and internal audit possess the characteristics described in the previous episode. Namely, first, both are systematic processes. So meaning bro, both external and internal audit follow a systematic approach on how to perform the audit. Second bro, both are objective processes, meaning in both external and internal audit, the auditors possess the traits that we call independence and objectivity. Third, both involve obtaining and evaluating evidence in order to support the conclusion that will be contained in the auditor's report. Fourth bro, both involve evaluation of correspondence between assertions and criteria. So, ibig sabihin pala, kahit sa internal audit, meron tayong tinatawag na assertions at meron ding tinatawag na criteria. And lastly, both include communication of results to intended users. So, ibig sabihin, sa internal audit din pala bro, meron din tayong tinatawag na audit report. Now, so ano naman ang differences ng dalawa despite these general similarities? In this video bro, we're going to talk about 5 differences, namely, the position or relationship of an external or internal auditor to the organization under audit. And next, the governing bodies or authoritative bodies na applicable sa external at internal audit. And next, the applicable frameworks and standards. Next, the scope and objectives of external and internal audit. And lastly bro, the certifications required to be able to perform external or internal audit. Now, if you have questions along the way, or maybe if you just want to add things that are not included in this list of differences, feel free to comment down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. The most familiar difference between external and internal audit is the position of the audit function in relation to the organization. Ang mga internal auditors, as the name suggests, ay mga empleyado ng organization. Meaning, ang mga internal auditors bro ay pinapasahod ng tinatawag nating compensation income under employer-employee relationship between the auditor and the organization. However, since gaya ng sabi ko kanina, although internal auditors are employees of the organization, they are required to be independent and demonstrate objectivity. Thus, although internal auditors are administratively reporting to the management of an organization, they are functionally reporting to the audit committee of the board of directors. Ibig sabihin bro, ang mga administrative matters like provision of resources like laptops, office supplies, and the like compensation, timekeeping, hiring, etc. Internal auditors have the same processes for this since they are employees of the organization and they are administratively reporting to the management of an organization. However, yung actual performance ng audit function, meaning yung approval ng annual audit plan, yung audit program, yung approval ng audit charter at yung recipient ng reports or outputs ng internal audit function, yan naman yung tinatawag natin na functional reporting at yan ay directly under the audit committee of the board of directors. Sa ganitong paraan bro, na-achieve ng internal audit function yung tinatawag natin na independence. On the other hand naman, external auditors are not employees of the organization under audit. Meaning, an organization engages a totally independent company to perform audit services for them. Nakikipag-engage bro, ibig sabihin, ang isang organization ay nakikipagkontrata sa isa pang kumpanya na completely separate. In the same manner bro, na kapag gusto mo magpagawa ng bahay, you will hire an architect, an engineer, or an interior designer in exchange for a service or professional fee. The second difference bro is the governing body. Now bro, ano ba ang governing body? A governing body is a group of people with the power and authority to form policies and steer the overall direction of an organization. Sa madaling salita bro, ito yung organization na nag-i-issue ng authoritative standards and guidance. For the external audit, since this pertains to the audit of the financial statements, we have the Board of Accountancy for that under the Professional Regulatory Commission. Moreover, to assist the Board of Accountancy in establishing and promulgating auditing standards in the Philippines, in this case external auditing to bro the Auditing and Assurance Service Council or AASC was established in December 2005. Ang AASC ang authoritative body na nag-e-establish at nag-i-issue ng tinatawag nating Generally Accepted Auditing Standards or GAAS in the Philippines. Now bro, for the internal audit naman, it is a completely different story. In fact, you don't even have to be a CPA to be an internal auditor. In fact, a company's internal audit function can even consist of various professions to create a mix of effective skill set to be able to add value to an organization. Internal audit is governed by an international organization called Institute of Internal Auditors or IIA. In the Philippines, we have IIA-P or Institute of Internal Auditors, Philippines. Ang IIA bro ang nag-e-establish at nag-i-issue ng authoritative framework and standards to guide the practice of internal auditing, which is completely different from the standards applicable to an external audit. Now, this leads us to the third difference between external and internal audit. Dahil magkaiba ang authoritative body or governing body na nagre-regulate sa external and internal audit, magkaiba rin ang conceptual framework at applicable standards. For the conduct of external audit, we have the Generally Accepted Auditing Standards or GAAS, and following the adoption of the international standards in the audit of financial statements, we now have the Philippine Standards on Auditing or PSA, Philippine Auditing Practice Statements or PAPS, and the Philippine Standard on Quality Control or PSQC. Kung ano ba ang nilalaman nitong GAAS, PSA, PAPS at PSQC, dito iikot bro ang pag-aaral mo ng auditing theory. And as more episodes come for our auditing theory series, madidiscuss natin ito, so don't forget to subscribe. Now, sabi natin the standards for the practice of internal auditing is completely different. Ano naman ang applicable standards for internal audit? The conceptual framework for the practice of internal audit is what we call the International Professional Practices Framework or IPPF, which is issued by the IIA. It is divided into mandatory guidance and recommended guidance. Under the mandatory guidance, nandito bro ang core principles of an internal audit activity, the definition of internal auditing, the code of ethics applicable to people practicing internal audit, and the standards of internal auditing, which is the international standards for the professional practice of internal auditing or ISPPA, which is further divided into the attribute standards and performance standards. Ang mga ito bro ay mandatory, meaning non-compliance with the components of mandatory guidance of the IPPF can lead to sanctions against the violator. Moreover, under the recommended guidance of this IPPF, we have the practice advisories and practice guides. Bro, paano ba yan? Magkaiba pala ang applicable na standards for external and internal auditing. Ibig bang sabihin nito, magkaiba ang procedures na ginagawa ng external and internal auditor? Now bro, medyo may similarities in a way, no? Pero to better explain to you, let's move to the fourth difference, which is the scope and objective. Magkaiba bro ang scope at objective ng external and internal audit. Kung maaalala mo bro, as discussed in our first video in this playlist, na kung hindi mo pa napapanood, nilagay ko sa description below ang link. External audit is focused on the financial statements of the entity under audit. Ang objective ng external audit ay makapag-provide ng unbiased opinion as to the fairness of the presentation of the financial statements of the entity. On the other hand naman bro, ang internal audit ay hindi limited sa financial statements. According to the definition of internal auditing by the IIA, and by the way bro this is the exact definition as stated in the IPPF. Internal auditing is an independent, objective assurance and consulting activity designed to add value and improve an organization's operations. It helps an organization accomplish its objectives by bringing a systematic, disciplined approach to evaluate and improve the effectiveness of risk management, control, and governance processes. Kung mapapansin mo bro, there are 3 key areas mentioned about the scope of internal auditing at napakalawak nito bro. These areas are risk management, control, and governance processes. In essence bro, this is tantamount to the whole steering of an organization. At isang aspeto lang na napapaloob dito, ang accuracy of the financial statements. For instance, if an external auditor is concerned about the correspondence of assertions in the financial statements with relevant criteria or standards, an internal auditor is concerned about the efficiency and effectiveness of the risk management, the controls in place to mitigate these risks within an entity's risk appetite, and the overall governance of an organization. The scope of internal audit is broad and it is not limited to things related to the financial statements. That's why, as I have mentioned earlier bro, it is possible for an internal audit function of an entity to consist of various professions or skill set mix para maging equipped or competent to add value to an organization, and not necessarily a team consisting of certified public accountants. And actually bro, this is the last difference between external and internal audit that we're going to talk about, which is the required certification. In order to be able to perform external audit, you have to be a certified public accountant. While for internal audit, hindi necessary bro na isa kang CPA, but the IPPF's Code of Ethics requires professional competence for the internal audit function as a whole. Now, the IIA also issues an international certification called the Certified Internal Auditor or CIA, but you have to take a 3-part CIA exam. And that's it for this video bro. I hope marami kang natutunan. If may hindi ako nabanggit na differences between external and internal audit, kindly let me know in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed and learned from this video, please don't forget to hit the like button, share this video to your timeline, and hit the subscribe button and bell notification icon para lagi kang updated pag may bago akong video. Also, if you have feedback, questions, or suggestions, feel free to comment down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Again, my name is Ron, Certified Public Accountant, and see you in another episode of Ledger. Wait for it, Terry.